Hello and welcome to Quietly Talking Movies ASMR channel. My name is Matt, and in today's video I'll be doing a little bit of an unboxing for the film called The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, a film by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. This is a Criterion collection release of one of the British cinema classics of existence of I was not aware until I basically started to dig into the Criterion collection and so forth. So I'm really excited to unpack it. The reason I'm actually doing this video is I am about to watch this film for the first time ever, and since it's still sealed, I figured why not actually make a video with a little bit of an unboxing for it. Yeah, so as you can see, it's a Criterion collection release of that film, and it is a US import thanks to my good friends at boutique home video website. So this film is not available in this form in the UK. Actually, no Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger films from Criterion collection have been actually made available in the UK. So if you actually want those lovely editions of these films, you actually have to import them. There are other versions of the films by the magnificent duo available in the UK. However, none of them is actually available in 4K Ultra HD, even the Red Shoes, and the editions themselves don't really, I don't think they're actually looking nice, except for one which I actually got. Yeah, so I was aware of the little film called The Red Shoes at some point in time. However, I didn't actually make a connection, like, okay, that there's like two British directors making those movies. And it wasn't until very much recently that I actually pieced together that a lot of Michael Powell and Pressburger films are actually very well received and very highly rated. And it all actually came on the back end of me having the opportunity and a huge pleasure of watching a film called A Matter of Life and Death. This is a film by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, which was made in 1946, and it's also as I mentioned, it's a US import of the Criterion collection Blu-ray. So I actually had the steelbook version of that film made for UK by ITV Studios. So after watching that film, I completely fell in love with that film. Really, like, it's magnificent, and I just figured I want to have it in the best possible way with a lot of special features if I can. So that's why I imported A Matter of Life and Death by Criterion collection. And after I saw it, I just immediately started researching about all the other films and so on. So my collection for Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger films came from 1 to essentially 5, and maybe, hopefully, who knows, even more. So I'll basically show that my collection of Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger films soon. But I wanted to do an unboxing for The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp first. So this film actually came out, as you can see, in 1943. So 3 years before A Matter of Life and Death. Okay, as you can see, it's a Blu-ray special edition, high definition video and audio. And here's the back. And I'll be showing you and telling you and reading all those details in a short while. Okay, so let's unpack it, shall we? For some reason, I actually noticed that the way they glue the cellophane onto the cases in the United States, it's a little bit too much, I'd say. There's just so much glue on it. It basically just rips. Can you see that? Basically just rips. It's not a pleasure to do this at all. Again, it just rips because it's glued on this side, on top of it. It's just glued so much. Okay, I was able to do a little bit of that. Put all of it inside. I think there was one more somewhere. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it here. There's just a little bit of. Can you see that? Okay. Let me rip that off. Seriously, you can even have a little bit of glue marks on top of it. You can see how strong the glue is that is used on this. Alright, so there it is, the cover in whole glory. And to be fair, I really like the cover. It's really nicely looking. You have the title, The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. You have the iconic profile of Colonel Blimp in here with the mustache. And I guess since we're talking about the life and death, we actually have the hourglass with the sand sipping through as time goes by, and the sand is made in the shape of the British Union Jack flag. It's a very nice colour. Alright, so that's the front. When it comes to the spine, again, to just let you know, we got the title, The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, Criterion Collection, logo, and as I said, spine number 173. Alright. Continuing onto the back. Oh my gosh, there's still some left. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so here it is. Let me read it for you. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the technical details. So as I mentioned, the film was made in 1943. It has a runtime of 163 minutes. So quite an old film and also quite a long one. 2 hours and 43 minutes. It is made in color, and as for that, I think Michael Powell and Emmerich Ploesberger were one of the early pioneers, and also I guess early pioneers of Technicolor, of the use of the Technicolor technique. And as I was watching A Matter of Life and Death some time ago, and obviously I was rewatching all of those old films in black and white, and I still continue to do so, watching a lot of black and white films recently. To actually go and watch a Technicolor film was like a night and day difference, and it's such a magnificent technique. Okay, we got a monaural soundtrack, and we got an aspect ratio of 1.37 to 1. Okay, so let's read the actual synopsis on the back and later go on to the special features. Okay. The Criterion Collection, a continuing series of important classic and contemporary films, presents The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. Considered by many to be the finest British film ever made, The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger is a stirring masterpiece like no other. Roger Livesey dynamically embodies outmoded English militarism as the indelible General Clive Candy, who barely survives 4 decades of tumultuous British history from 1902 to 1942, only to see the world change irrevocably before his eyes. Anton Walbrook and Deborah Kerr provide unforgettable support. He as a German enemy turned a lifelong friend of Candy's, and she as a young woman of 3 consecutive generations, a socially committed governess, a sweet-souled war nurse, and a modern thinking army driver who inspire him. Colonel Blimp is both moving and slightly satirical, an incomparable film about war, love, aging, and obsolescence, shot in gorgeous Technicolor. So as I mentioned, Technicolor, that's the key word why those films are actually so great, especially in the times they were made. Alright, when it comes to the special features, let me actually put some good lighting in here for you as well. Blu-ray special edition features. New digital master from the Film Foundation's 2012 4K restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. Audio commentary featuring director Michael Powell and filmmaker Martin Scorsese. New video introduction by Scorsese. A profile of The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, a documentary from 2000. Restoration demonstration hosted by Scorsese. Optimism and Sheer Will, a 2012 interview with editor Thelma Schoonmaker. Okay, it continues, so apologies. Optimism and Sheer Will, a 2012 interview with editor Thelma Schoonmaker Powell, Michael Powell's widow. So, Thelma Schoonmaker, I think everybody knows, she's the magnificent editor of majority, even not all, but majority of Martin Scorsese's films, and she was the wife of Michael Powell. Alright, we get a gallery featuring rare behind-the-scenes production stills. Gallery tracing the history of David Lowe's original Colonel Blimp cartoons. And we also get a booklet featuring an essay by critic Molly Haskell. Alright, so there we go. So the Film Foundation restoration was made in 2012, so it's already 12-year-old restoration, and as you can see, the first printing in the United States of that film was in 2013, and I think it's also the similar timing when it appeared in the UK as well. And as you can see, it was made by ITV Studios in the UK. So if you want to actually have those films in the UK, you're gonna have to look for ITV Studios release. Alright, to tell you that I was not lying, it's a US release. Thankfully I have two Blu-ray players, one 4K, which is a region locked to B. Obviously 4K discs are region free, and I have one which is a region free player, specifically for watching the Blu-rays on the from United States. There we go. So here's the booklet. Got the life and death of Colonel Blimp. Some amazing stills in Technicolor. Got the cast and credits, and the essay by Molly Haskell. So I think that the actor who plays Colonel Blimp in this film is the same actor who appears in A Matter of Life and Death. In the role of the Doctor, I believe, who who investigates the case of the main character. Okay, so let me just tell you about the transparent. So the life and death of Colonel Blimp is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1.37 to 1. On widescreen televisions, black bars will appear on the left and the right of the image to maintain the proper screen format. The digital master presented here was made from the Film Foundation's 2012 restoration. For the restoration, the original 35mm 3-strip Technicolor negatives were scanned at 4K resolution on an Imagica wet gauge scanner at .360 in Los Angeles. So it's a 4K resolution scan, which means, you know what that means, right? Sometime in the future we might actually get a 4K Ultra HD edition of that film, just like we did of the Red Shoes. The soundtrack was digitally restored from the original monaural optical soundtrack by Audio Mechanics in Burbank, California. Alright, here we got like some special thanks. And that's the booklet all together. Pages are not numbered, so I don't know. Okay. And here's the disc. And the disc is dual layer, 55 gigabytes. And here is the inner print. So the inner print is actually very dark. Behind the disc we actually get a leaf that fell off a tree, and on the left side we actually have a lot of chapters. So not sure if you're following Criterion very carefully or not. However, in the old versions of the films, the old releases, as I mentioned, this was made, these releases, I'm not saying this specific one, but the life and death of Colonel Blimp first appeared in 2013, so 11 years ago, and at that time Criterion for some reason was putting the names of the chapters onto the inner cover. Obviously I think they already they're not doing that anymore, so I think if there are names of the chapters, which there rarely are anymore, then they will actually put that into the booklet, not actually printed inside of this. Okay, so that's the whole overview. Alright, yeah, so I'm about to watch this film for the very first time, and I really hope it's going to be a great one. Okay, now the only thing that's left is essentially just to show my entire Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger collection. It's not big, I don't have all of the films, however I do think I have the major ones. Alright, so as I've already showed, I have, and I will not dive deep into them, so I'm not going to be opening them. I have A Matter of Life and Death, which was made in 1946, and that's the next one in the filmography of the two directors. So in all honesty, I should probably put it like this. Alright. And next one, made right after A Matter of Life and Death, is Black Narcissus. So one of the things why I really wanted to have this one is because the front cover and most likely the scene from the film looks absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to actually see it in action. So I haven't seen that film yet, so I'm really looking forward to this. It's a Criterion United States release of Black Narcissus. So that's the third one that I have. The fourth is obviously probably their most known and one of the best films ever made as a whole, The Red Shoes, in 4K Ultra HD from a Criterion collection. Also a US release. In the UK we get only a Blu-ray. So really looking forward to seeing that one as well. Apparently absolute classic. And last but not least, this one is actually not a US import, however I did find a very good edition which I think is going to be just as nice, from Studio Canal, the Vintage Classics line, the Tales of Hoffman, which is a film, as I said, by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. And this edition from Studio Canal, as was being sold for £12, is featuring and including limited edition postcards and a booklet, which is nice. So, and at the same time, most likely, as we would on the Criterion Collection release, we got an introduction from Martin Scorsese, and we get an interview with Thelma Schoonmaker. So I do believe that Martin Scorsese and Thelma Schoonmaker, because of their obvious connections with Michael Powell, and they really made a great effort to be featured and to talk about those films. As a matter of fact, I believe that Thelma Schoonmaker is going to make or she already did, make an appearance in the Edinburgh International Film Festival this year, where she's going to be introducing one of the films by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. Unfortunately, the tickets sold within a couple of minutes, apparently, so I wasn't able to get one. Alright, so apologies, that's the correct order. Okay, so that's me, off to go and see the life and death of Colonel Blimp. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this one, and I'll see you in the next one fairly soon. Cheerio, bye bye.